If you're curious to see the last bit of purchases at the end of 2021, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène and welcome back, or if it's your first time, welcome to HMM Makeup or Makeup. This is a special video because you're not going to see any videos like this during 2022, because if you haven't seen it yet, you can take a look at this video. I am going on a no buy. Well, I'm not going on, it's already in play. I am on a no buy. If you want to see more on the rules of the no buy and any kind of parameters I've set, please go take a look at that video. It is in play for the entire year of 2022, and I cover a lot of information in that video, so I won't repeat myself here. That said, I have a little last stash of things that are coming into my collection for 2022. They were purchased in 2021, and in some cases, it's a pack of them, but in some cases it's because there was a shipping issue, a shipping delay with a package getting lost and the company thinking it was delivered. Anyway, all sorts of things. And so it is now well into 2022, and I'm bringing you this final video. So you can almost consider this video as being in 2021. Because that's really where it should have been. Anyway, let me just get into this box. It's from a number of providers, and all of it was from ridiculously discounted products that I had my eye on and was able to nab at a really great price, which made it possible for me to get them in the first place, because I'm on a very, very tight budget, and I feel very fortunate to have been able to nab these products at a great price so that I could bring you more swatches and just more variety in a number of palettes and in the number of brands. So let me put this box down because it's getting heavy. And I'm going to start small and work my way up. After the holidays, Urban Decay had every one of their sets on sale, and I ended up getting this one. For both reasons, actually, the Naked 3 and the Perversion pencil. So let me just open up this box. Okay, and it's wrapped in tissue paper. And here are the products. So it's a full size of the Perversion liner, which I use in my upper waterline. It's a fantastic pencil. A close second is Zero, which I have right now on my upper waterline. But I have to say Perversion. If I have a choice for waterline, I would go Perversion as opposed to Zero, although I really use them interchangeably. But to have a brand new one of these, I'm really happy. It's going to go in my backup though, because I do have a relatively new Perversion pencil that I'm using right now, and I'm not going to use this one. I'll show you the tip of Urban Decay pencils. They're very nice. The Urban Decay and Lise Watier are pencils that I am pretty darn fond of. And now for this little guy, I do have the original Naked and Naked 2. And now this is the Naked 3, and it looks like this, and it's the only one that's shiny like this that I have in the mini Naked palettes. And the reason I'm really excited about this one is that most of my mini palettes, if I can get this open, there we go. Most of the Naked palettes are not this shiny, and it's interesting that they went with a different kind of finish. It does have the same layout though. It has that little mirror, and it has 6 eyeshadows in it, and they are on the rosy side. And I really like the color story. It does not match the larger naked palette in the colors, because the minis are always complementary colors to the original. And I'm really pleased to have this palette. It's a palette that I've wanted since it came out. And when it came as part of that duo set for Christmas, and it was significantly marked down, it was like getting this palette or the Perversion pencil for free. I'm very happy now that this palette is in my collection. Like I said, it's one that I know for a fact that I would really, really like to use the colors from, and that just expands my ability to use the naked palettes. I do use the naked palettes on a very regular basis. For example, right now I'm wearing the Naked Cyber on my inner two-thirds of the lid. Really, really like that palette, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly, despite the fact that it seems to be poo-pooed by a bunch of people. Let me show you the palette. That's what I'm wearing today. I am so enamored with this palette. I cannot tell you. I think it's the cat's meow, and or some people say cat's pajamas. I think it's a fantastic palette, and let me just show you which one I'm wearing. It's Static. It's this one right here that I'm wearing today on inner to two-thirds. I really, really love this palette. Every single one of the duochromes in here, chef's kiss. So that is it from Urban Decay, and with that I did get a mini setting spray and some Shadow Insurance, what's it called? The base before you apply your eyeshadow. So I got a few of those things. Oh, I'm just going in the box, and these are the two things that I got from Urban Decay, by the way, that I talked about earlier, the setting spray and the, it's not Shadow Insurance, it's Primer Potion. I don't know why. The Shadow Insurance is a different company. Primer Potion. This video apparently is a struggle between the snowblower and everything else. Anyway, moving on. And now let's go to another standalone website. I talked about Urban Decay, that's where I got those products from. And I also got this palette from the Pat McGrath website. Now this was what I was waiting for in order to show you the last of the products that are coming into my collection, and this one was the Straggler, because I ordered it on December 8th and I only received it a few days ago. It has not been a long time, and so it's been an interesting ride. The Pat McGrath packaging is interesting. So there's a long flap on this one side. See how long the flap is? It's definitely different packaging from any other makeup brand that I receive. And this one is called the Celestial Odyssey. And that is compared to Celestial Divinity from the previous year. So this is the one that came out last year. And let me just show you the inside. I'll just do it this way. There you go. So here is the inside, 18 shadows. Megabyte is my favorite by far. I reach into this palette for this one quite a bit. But there are a number of very pretty colors in here, and I do tend to go into this palette just like I do for the Naked Cyber for toppers to just enhance a look. This is a palette that I do enjoy going into. I don't tend to go into this palette for mattes, because if you take a look, there are only 3 mattes in here. It's not a whole lot, right? So there's one here, and one here. But I will have more to say about this palette. Now let me show you the new one. So again, this is the new one. It looks on the inside very much like the outside packaging. On the back, you have the names, which I believe is the same. Yeah, it's the same thing on the previous one. I'll stop talking about the previous one. This is the one we're focusing on. And it matches my nail polish really well too. And then on the inside, the palette itself is more sturdy this year. It has the same, come on, the magnet's pretty good. And now this is the inside. And you'll notice just with the ring light that it has that nice black polished plastic on the inside as you would find in other Pat McGrath palettes. And I think that that was part of what turned people off last year, was the palette was cardboard and it seemed very junky. This palette is a completely different experience as far as the packaging, and I think that, this is my impression, is that the packaging for this year, it made a really big difference in how people perceived the palette. Now, of course, I've used all of the shadows from the previous year. I have not touched this one because it just came to me, and I'm looking forward to doing swatches and to doing looks and comparing the quality of the shadows, not so much the packaging, from year to year. I really want to know if this is better quality shadows than the previous year, because that's what I keep hearing, and I am not convinced based on the color story I've seen. So you can see, you can expect to see a number of videos from me. So let's just take a look at the colors again. They seem to me a whole lot more subdued than the previous year. Maybe that's just my impression, but I don't find that they are as exciting, maybe except for the light green on the bottom there. They're not as exciting as the previous year. And it could just be that I like purples and pinks, that I like this palette more, but I will have to do a whole whack of comparison. It really was the fact that people kept saying, oh, it's so much better this year, so much better this year, and just looking at the color story, like I said, I don't see it. So it will be very interesting to play around with that palette. I spent way too much time on that one. Now, another one that I picked up, this one I picked up from Sephora, actually. It's Dominique Cosmetics, and it is the Rustic Glam palette. And now, here's the deal. I was hemming and hawing on this palette. I have had it in and out of my cart for months and months and months, and then it came on for a ridiculously low price at Christmas, plus a 20% off extra. And I was ready to get it. And part of the reason why I wasn't sure about getting it is I'm not huge on blue. And as you can see, there are two blue shadows. And I'm not huge either on this orange or this pink. But, and I say but, I could not get these colors out of my mind. And I could see how I could do some really neat looks with a number of shadows. Definitely these two, or probably this trio. Not sure, orange looks good on me, but I'm not big on the color. I will still use it. This one I think I can do in an amazing midnight sky smoky eye, and I really do want to try it out. And then of course a number of other looks are quite possible with this palette. And I'm going to say, based on the price that I paid, if I only have this one, this one, this one, and these three that are pretty good for a neutral look, this one's a no-brainer as well, I will be fine. I will be absolutely fine with the value that I'm getting for what I paid. And this is officially my third palette from Dominique Cosmetics. I also have the Latte palette and the Berries and Cream, I think it's called, palette that's more purple. Latte is more of a neutral palette that I really like because there are so many mattes in that palette. You're definitely going to see some looks from me from the brand, Dominique Cosmetics, over the number of months. Let me tell you, I'm very excited to have these palettes in my collection for sure. And now again from Sephora, these are the last gems that I want to talk to you about, and it is the 3 Haze palettes from Huda Beauty. And I will show them to you in order of purchase as far as what tempted me the most to the least. This khaki palette is the one that, if I could only have one of the 3, this is the palette that I wanted. And let me show you why. I am a sucker for green and bronzy colors, and this one has a definite green hue to it, and it definitely, I'm going to say the word twice, it matches what's on the outside matches what's on the inside, and I do really appreciate that. And to me, this is going to look so good as a neutral palette for my eyes. I'm really looking forward to doing many looks with this palette. Let me tell you, I'm excited. So this is the first one of the three. And just like I was excited for khaki, I am also a sucker for purple. If you already know this channel, you know that about me. I love purple shadows. And this is Purple Haze. So this was the second most interesting one out of the three. And Huda has a lot of mini palettes, and this is only one category of mini palettes. I've not been into all of the mini palettes that have come through, but the haze line is definitely exciting. So here's the purple. This whole column is just calling my name. It looks so amazing. I'm really, really looking forward to doing it now. I look with those. And of course, a number of other combinations. But just for those three, that combo, everything else in this palette is gravy. So I'm pretty happy with having picked up the purple. And finally, the Sand Haze. They could have called it the Nude Haze because that's what makes me think of anyway. And this one looks great, and I think that it would be as well a complement to both the khaki and the purple palette. Do you see how there are some colors that would really go well with the other two palettes? That's why I ended up picking this one, is when I saw the first and the second and then looked at this one, I thought, well, they all three work so well together, and all three of them together is pretty compact. I mean, this is what we're looking at. It's not a whole lot, and it just provides so many options that I found them particularly exciting. And there's a fair amount of mattes to shimmer or metallic ratio, and I'm super excited about it. I have to say that there are two palettes from Huda Beauty that I really do want. The Naughty palette is definitely calling my name, and then the latest one. I had to look it up to make sure that I was not making a mistake in the name. It's the Rose Quartz palette. So the Naughty palette and the Rose Quartz palette are two palettes from Huda Beauty that I'm really interested in. Now, of course, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I am on a no-buy. I'm not getting anything past what you see here, which some of these items have been waiting in the wings for quite a while for me to show you. And it's okay. It's okay that I can't, not that I can't, I will not. I simply will not be getting anything from Huda Beauty in 2022. And you know what? It'll just be all the sweeter if I can get those palettes in 2023. It's perfectly fine. I have a great collection to play with. I've had these new additions as well to play with. I'm not at a loss for palettes to shop for the year, and I'm very excited to do so. Now, the Haze palettes and the Dominique Cosmetics palette, those were from Sephora, and so I have some samples based on those purchases. I have a Shiseido Wrinkle Smoothing Eye Cream. And I also have a Moisture Surge from Clinique. Two more. Oh no, one more. And also a Rare Beauty Liquid Touch Brightening Concealer, and I've not tried anything from Rare Beauty. If anything that I've received from interesting brands, I tended to send them to Steph because she doesn't get a chance to sample anything in Ireland, so I tend to send a lot of samples her way. So I've got these 3 samples. That's great. The 2 that I showed you from Urban Decay with the setting spray and primer potion. And yeah, that is it. So I hope you enjoyed watching what it is that I have. The last tidbits trickling into my collection before it's on lockdown for the year. As you know, if you've watched my No Buy, the only 2 exceptions is a gift for my birthday and a gift for Christmas. I think that's reasonable. Anyway, let me know what you think of the purchases that I made. Do you think I'm nuts in what I chose to sneak in at the very last minute? Or do you think they were good purchases? I would love to hear. And also, I would love to hear what it is that you'd like to see first out of the whole bunch of stuff. With that, I will say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, as always, take care.